I actually had time for other things, even as a medical student, which was something I did not have while I was a medical student back in Nigeria. So don't do carryovers. You finish it in that year. If you don't finish it, by third chance, if you don't pass it, you're expelled. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Winnie Dog here again, back with another video. So this video is about my experience living and studying in part 1 of this video, which I'm sure has been uploaded already by now. So if you've not watched that one, go keep yourself abreast, watch that one, get up to date, and then come back to this one and continue. I hope you enjoy this series. So this is a continuation video from the last video that I uploaded about my study experience. And the last video I mentioned my journey from the airport down to the hostel, expectations versus reality, meeting my agents, paying the money, and all that good stuff. This video I will continue from, when I got to the university, registration. So yeah, I'm going to talk about from registration, the entrance exams. Oh my goodness, I've got a lot of questions like from people concerning the entrance exam, what the exam entails, the kind of questions that are asked the subject. I'm going to be saying all of that in this video as well. And also how long it took for me to start classes, starting classes, how the syllabus of the school was, settling in, and all that good stuff. Just stay tuned. Okay, so I'll go straight into registration. So in my last video I ended in where we got to the hostel, paid the money, and how I was in the guest room for about a month before they gave me a room, like my proper room where I was able to settle into. Now in that process, while I was in the guest room, the agents, like the main agents, my goodness, there's a chain of agents. That's another thing about studying in Ukraine. Like there's a chain, there's a Nigerian agent, there's the one that picks you at the airport, there's the one that's following through with your process, and then there is the main agent in the school, because as international students, we don't really, when you first come, you don't really have first interaction with the dean of the university. They tend to like shift all the responsibility to these agents that have been like accredited by the university. So these agents are the ones that will deal with you, and it's fine. They're not, so just stay. If you're in Tenopil, I think the main agent in Tenopil is Dr. Shazad. He's not paying me for this video, but I'm just gonna give you guys that tease just so you know, like he's the one legit. And I think there's a couple of them, but I don't know them. Apparently there is a couple, but I don't know them. But I know for sure that he's working in the university, and that's for Tenopil alone. Tenopil National Medical University, to be precise. Right, so the registration process started while I was in the guest room, and this particular man that I mentioned his name comes to the hostel, asks us how we're settling in, takes maybe your passport, takes you to go and take a passport picture. Maybe you don't have enough, he'll take you to get your bank set up, like maybe open a bank account, just settling you in, basically settling everything that concerns you, settling down in the university. Takes your documents to the university, calls you to the school, signs some documents, your contracts, hostel contracts, university contracts, and stuff like that. Then finally was time for the examination. Now at that point I was like, what's the point? Because he had even told us about this exam before. He told us about this exam before we actually got to the school. But so I've been preparing for the exam. He said it entailed biology, chemistry, physics, English. I think those were the first subjects we did. Biology, chemistry, physics, English, yes. And yeah, since you're coming in as a medical doctor, and me, that I was such a bookworm then, I used to think that, oh my goodness, I have my textbook, I carried my textbooks, I carried my notes from Nigeria. Listen, I was a serious student. But story changed down the line. But that is by the way. My first year I was quite, this book, we're gonna read it. So I had all my textbooks like hard copy. Right now when I think about it, I'm just like, Winifred, why? But that's not the point. That's besides the point. So when he had told us about the entrance exam, I started jacking. started reading like romance business, you know, opening my Ababio textbook, my physics. I had those textbooks with me. I was reading them, but there was no streamlined like area of concentration that, oh, read so and so topic, read around the lines of this and stuff like that. Because every time we asked him what type of questions will be asked, he would say, just do your study, just do your study, just, you know, there was no specifics. But my experience, what was I asked? I cannot remember all of them specifically, but I remember being asked about osmosis. I remember being asked about the cell. I remember being asked about myself, expressing myself in English, you know, telling them about myself. And my favorite subject back in secondary school, that was the English part. I can't really remember the physics question that was asked, but to be honest, they only asked me like probably 3 or 4 questions, right? And I was done. Like, I just answered. It was so simple. Like, I just went there, PM, and I was done. Apparently, these days it's harder. I heard like from new intakes, recent intakes, that, oh, the questions are now a bit tougher. And I'm like, okay, but because at this point, normally you've paid your school fees, you've done your registration. I'm like, but if you've paid your school fees and all that, what happened? They're like, oh, they refund you your school fees, and then they make you, if you want, you will now go and register with another university, or you leave the country. And I'm like, that's madness. That's just so sad, because back in my time, there was, I don't think I ever heard of anybody that didn't pass that exam, which is why whenever people ask me about the exam, I'm like, no, it's not hard. It's not hard. Don't worry, you pass it. Like, you've already reached the country. They can't send you back. Apparently, they can. So do your due diligence, find out about them. But I can assure you that if you're already a science student, especially if you're already a science student, these are questions that will not be difficult for you. I'm not the brightest student. I'm not the, don't go and reason me that, oh, should be you know book. No, it's not that deep. No, I don't know book like that. It's God's grace that is helping us. Let me just tell you. So relax, you'll be fine. Trust me, you are fine. Not even you'll be fine, you are fine. Go in there, do your stuff, and come out. You get it. But I know there are some people that don't really have common sense. I'm sorry, but forget about, try to be a more logical person. If you're a sensible person, just be able to, you know, put 1 and 2 together. When they ask you about A, you'll be able to say, okay, this comes together and this comes together to form an A. Yeah, like, you just be able to put your reasoning together, right? It's not really any serious big deal like that. But those 4 subjects are what I know that they ask questions, not a big deal. How long it took for me to start classes? It took approximately, I got to Ukraine in August. September I didn't resume. October I didn't resume. I think I resumed somewhere in November. So approximately 2 months, 3 months, 2 to 3 months before I started classes. That was my time. It might not be your case. So many people come and immediately they come. So if they don't even have a break, they enter classes immediately. Because they were trying to sort out people that had come before. There's something called the language course, part fact. So if you come after admission season, they make you do the language course before you resume. So there are people that had done the language course that they need to put into classes. They needed to arrange, because it had to be, I think, 10 or 12 per class, students per class. That's how it's arranged. So they had to arrange those ones that had been here prior before we that had just arrived. So it took a while for them to settle all those people before it got to us. So it took about 2 months, thereabout, give or take, before I resumed classes. So I had a backlog of subjects to do. Now, will I say it's better to resume with the part fact students? Not necessarily. I think in my time, they just slowed down a lot of processes. Right now, I think things are way more, like, the process is way more smoother. So you might not necessarily go through the kind of delay before resumption that I had to go through. Me and my colleagues at that time had to go through. So definitely do your research. Part fact is not compulsory, and part fact, that is language course, is not compulsory. If you want to, go for it, but if you do not want to, by all means, wait till its admission period, come to Ukraine and start classes immediately. But just make your research to know, because right now we have 2 admission sets. When I resumed, it was just 1 admission set, and that was just September. Now they admit students also in January, so there's September and there's February sets. So September and February, yeah. So they have, I think, spring semester and winter semester, if I'm not mistaken. But I shall know that we have 2 intakes every year now in Tenopil National Medical University. There are 2 intakes. So do your research, do your due diligence, know when your admission is set, know when you want to enter school, and know if everything would align for you to resume while other students are resuming. So yeah, that's that for that. If you have any questions concerning all of this, please do well to leave it in the comment section down below. I would do my possible best to answer your question. If I don't even answer the questions, I have quite a few people from Ukraine on my channel, so anybody can see your question, and if they have the answer, guys, feel free to answer the questions. Please do well to do your research, find out about the school, whatever university it is, ask questions. A lot of people ask me about Dnipro, Kharkov, Vinnytsia. I don't know. I'm putting it out here. I don't know. Like, they just write like a whole epistle concerning a particular university. What do I think about this university? And I'm like, I have no idea about the university. Like, and sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, but it's obvious in my channel that I didn't attend these schools. Like, and that you're in Ukraine doesn't mean you know all the cities. I am someone who barely traveled. I only traveled when it was time for conferences or like a church activity. So I don't really know a lot of universities. Universities in Ukraine. So if you have questions concerning other universities, leave them in the comment section. If you come to my DM and ask me, nobody else will see it. I can't start going to ask people one by one. So just put it in the comment section. Definitely someone will see it and answer your question. Offered. There has been some modification in the courses that are being offered currently in Tenopil, actually. And every university has their different subjects. Their syllabus and their mode of assessment, that's examination, is different. My school back then, we used to do OSCE, like oral clinical exams. Apparently, some of my colleagues back in other cities never did OSCE in their university, which I was surprised. I thought like it was the same thing all over Ukraine. So it's not the same thing. So in Ternopil, we had OSCE, we had oral exams, we had objective exams, and that was it. OSCE was clinicals. So in your 4th year, 5th year, 6th years, when you really do OSCEs. Oral exams, you do it throughout. I think from 1st year to your final year, you do oral exam, oral and objective. So every assessment is both oral and objective. Yeah, that's it. Oral and objective. So are the exams in Ukraine hard? No. I'd say no, because having been in a university in Nigeria before coming to Ukraine, they're not hard though, because they give you area of concentration. They give you what to focus on. Technically, most times it's the whole syllabus, but there are questions. They are streamlined questions, and you knowing your teacher, you know the way they think, and you know, oh, these are the likely questions. Even though there are exceptions, so there are some teachers that you cannot really know them. You cannot really know their mind. So you can only pray for the grace of God and the Holy Spirit to put in your heart the right answer when you're speaking to them. But mostly, I would say Tenopil was it was tough, but it was good. It was nice. It pushed you to study. Tenopil makes you want to study. The students, the teachers, you want to study. Hence, the exams are not so difficult. I'm not saying they are not difficult at all, because medicine is a lot of information to take in. There's a lot to read, but generally, I wouldn't really call it a difficult exam. Most of the exams were quite easy, and you go through them. And also Tenopil, you have like, I think 3 chances. The first chance, which is the time you write, is your whole everybody. The second chance is a retake, and then third chance is like oral. And it's just a few people that always actually get to third chance. So third chance is like you failed the first time, you failed the second time, or you missed one of these exams. Like you were unable to make it for first chance when people were writing in first chance, or maybe due to sickness, you travel. So many things can make people miss the exams, and so they have to write third chance, right? So there's first chance, there's second chance, and there's third chance. So if you wrote first chance, you didn't pass, you have the opportunity to write it again second chance, and this is within the semester. So even when people are on holidays, you probably will still be writing your retakes, but then there is nothing like a carryover like back in Nigeria. For Tenopil, we don't do carryovers. You finish it in that year. If you don't finish it, by third chance, if you don't pass it, you're expelled, or you repeat that year. But you cannot go into the next year with a subject that you did not pass. So if you didn't pass one subject in, let's say, second year, you did not pass your anatomy or your physiology, first chance, second chance, third chance, you are repeating second year. You are not going to join your classmates in third year and then be writing physiology. They don't allow that. So if you fail a particular course, then best believe you're gonna have to stay and write it till the end, right? Like, you have to stay, finish it. If you don't finish it, then you're repeating that course. And yeah, that's really how the exam system works, classes and everything. It was quite an amazing journey, to be honest. It was an open drama. But I would not choose any other university. I haven't heard every other person's experience. People always say, which uni do you recommend? Obviously, it's the one I attended now. The one I attended. I would recommend Tenopil definitely. It was actually a good school. It was a good university, and I enjoyed studying in Tenopil. I enjoyed the social events because I involved myself in a lot of humanitarian activities, NGO activities, and school activities as well. So it was really, really a nice one. The syllabus allowed me, I was even making hair back in school. If you watch my older videos, you actually had time for other things, even as a medical student, which was something I did not have while I was a medical student back in Nigeria. It was definitely quite an experience that I enjoyed, and I'll definitely recommend anybody that wants to go to definitely go for it. It is nice. I know people are still there, more people are coming there, so I believe you won't have any cause to regret it. But do your due diligence, do your research, make sure it's something you want. Don't just take my word for it. Make sure it's something you want and then go for it. And I hope this video was really helpful to you. To the next time you see me on your beautiful screen, stay fabulous. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video. Please give this video a thumbs up. We need to grow this channel, and to grow this channel, you need to like this video. Once you like the video, YouTube it lets YouTube know that this video was helpful to you, and it will recommend it to other people, so it gives them more chances, more people to see this channel, and this channel will grow in extension. So please do well to like, comment and subscribe. Until the next time you see me on your screens again, stay fabulous. I love you guys. Bye.